Kevin Costner's new Western docuseries is the real-life version of Yellowstone fans needed. For fans of Yellowstone who enjoyed Kevin Costner's portrayal of John Dutton, a rancher fiercely defending his Montana legacy, the West is the real-life counterpart they didn't know they needed. This 8-part docuseries, which premiered on the History Channel on May 26, 2025, swaps the fictional drama of the Dutton family for an exploration of history. Hosted and executive produced by Costner, alongside historian Doris Kearns Goodwin, the series dives into the brutal realities of the frontier. The journey echoes the themes of land, power, and identity central to Yellowstone, offering fans a deeper connection to the West's enduring legacy. The West spans a century of pivotal events, starting before the 1800s, when settlers pushed beyond the Appalachians, driven by dreams of land and riches. The series highlights iconic figures like Sacagawea, Chief Little Turtle, and Crazy Horse, alongside the rise of cowboys, ranchers, and trailblazing women. It doesn't shy away from the darker truths. Costner himself described the history as tragic, marked by settlers' encroachments on native lands. This mirrors Yellowstone's narrative of defending one's claim against external threats. The series' focus on diverse perspectives adds complexity that resonates with fans who appreciate Yellowstone's nuanced conflicts. Costner's involvement with the West feels like a natural extension of his Yellowstone persona. When Costner played John Dutton, he embodied a man tied to the land, wrestling with progress and tradition. In the West, his narration brings that same authority, guiding audiences through expert interviews and historical reenactments. The iconic movie star has often talked about his passion for the American West. He's made several other Western-themed films, like Dances with Wolves, Wyatt Earp, and Silverado. During the opening of the West, Costner says that his love of the era was sparked as a child watching how the West was won. The West has a power, like nowhere else, to fire up the imagination. His love for the era really shines through, making him the ideal host to unpack the complexity of the time period. Fans mourning his exit from Yellowstone can find solace here. Unlike Yellowstone's solidly fictional feuds, the West grounds its storytelling in historical truth. It explores events like Chief Little Turtle's victory over the U.S. Army and the tragic encounters between missionaries and the Cayuse people. It also delves into Theodore Roosevelt's legacy, with Costner admiring his intellect and leadership. He even draws parallels to the principled resolve of the fictional John Dutton. For fans, this series feels like a bridge between Yellowstone's mythologized West and the real struggles that shaped it, offering a chance to see the land's history through Costner's lens. The West is the antidote to Yellowstone's romanticized drama, delivering a hard-hitting narrative that doesn't gloss over the frontier's bloodshed or complexity. For fans of the fictional series Yellowstone, it's a must-watch, reconnecting them with Costner's Western soul and the land he's always been obsessed with. This docuseries is the real story of the West, told with the same passion that made John Dutton unforgettable. Kevin Costner has always been more than just the iconic face of Western drama. He's its beating heart. And now, with his new Western docuseries, he's offering Yellowstone fans something they didn't even know they craved: the raw, unfiltered truth behind the myths that inspired their favorite show. Forget cowboys in tailored coats and fictional ranches in Montana. This time, Costner rides straight into the annals of American history to uncover the real people, places, and bloodshed that defined the frontier. This isn't just another project. It's a passion-fueled journey into the soul of the American West. Titled The West: Real Stories of the Frontier, Costner's docuseries is a masterclass in storytelling. Every frame pulses with the authenticity that Yellowstone only hints at. Executive produced and narrated by Costner himself, the series weaves together forgotten tales of native resistance, outlaw justice, pioneer grit, and the uneasy truths behind manifest destiny. Where Yellowstone offers viewers a modern-day mythology of rugged family dynasties, the West peels back the layers of myth to reveal the dusty, complicated truth. And it's beautiful. Shot on location across the American heartland, from the Badlands of South Dakota to the windswept mesas of New Mexico, each episode is a sweeping cinematic journey. You can practically feel the grit between your teeth. There are no CGI-enhanced showdowns here. Instead, Costner uses rare archival materials, reenactments performed with staggering attention to period detail, and interviews with descendants of historical figures to breathe new life into old legends. Fans of Yellowstone know Costner's John Dutton as a man caught between the past and the future. In the West, we see the root of that conflict. We meet the real ranchers who fought to preserve land handed down through generations. We hear the voices of Native American leaders whose truths were buried under centuries of silence. We follow the Boontown Barons, Buffalo Soldiers, and frontier women who survived not because they were invincible, but because they were unyielding. What makes this docuseries so compelling isn't just the subject matter, it's Costner's presence. He doesn't stand above history, he walks through it. There's a quiet reverence in his voice as he narrates a massacre at Wounded Knee or the birth of the Chisholm Trail. You sense that he isn't just educating the audience, he's learning right alongside them. This humility, this sense of seeking, is what sets the West apart from the average history documentary. It doesn't lecture, it listens. And for Yellowstone fans, that might be the biggest payoff of all. While the series is rooted in historical fact, it echoes the same emotional terrain that made the Dutton family saga so addictive. There's loyalty, betrayal, legacy, and loss. There are breathtaking landscapes that feel like characters themselves. There's even a bit of romance, of the land, of the life, of the myth. Costner knows exactly how to connect the dots between past and present, between what was and what might have been. Perhaps most intriguingly, the West also provides context for Costner's own evolving vision of the Western genre. It's no secret that his upcoming film project, Horizon, an American saga, aims to redefine the Western epic for a new generation. But the West feels like a foundation, a reckoning with the truths that must be acknowledged before the myths can be reimagined. It's as if Costner is saying, before we gallop off into the sunset, let's look at the road behind us. That honesty is rare and refreshing. Each episode of The West is a standalone chapter, yet they all thread together into a larger, more haunting narrative. From the brutal clash between expansion and survival to the quiet dignity of everyday people building something out of nothing, Costner ensures that every story matters. These aren't just tales of cowboys and cattle. They're snapshots of a nation in the making, often at great cost. Critics are already calling the series a spiritual companion to Yellowstone, but that undersells it. If Yellowstone is the polished myth, the West is the ghost in the canyon, the echo of real lives, real choices, real consequences. For fans still reeling from the emotional wreckage of Yellowstone's later seasons, this is the salve. It's the grounding they didn't know they needed. It's the reminder that behind every great story is a kernel of truth, and sometimes that truth is even more gripping than fiction. Costner, ever the cowboy poet, doesn't just ride through this docuseries, he pours his soul into it. You feel it in the melancholy pauses between words, in the way the camera lingers on a broken fence post or a wind-carved cliff. You see it in the faces of historians, elders, and local storytellers who've been waiting decades for someone to really see the West the way they do. And now, thanks to Costner, the world finally can. The West, Real Stories of the Frontier is not just television. It's testimony. It's tribute. It's a torch passed from one storyteller to another. And for Yellowstone fans yearning for something real, something that doesn't end in scripted drama or Hollywood polish, it's exactly what the heart has been hungering for. Kevin Costner didn't just give fans more Yellowstone. He gave them the beating heart that inspired it. And that might just be his greatest Western yet.